Product placement in a kids movie and it's PG-13. Sure, why not? Cue the intro. Yeah, it's your boy M coming at you today with some movie reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Great Yokai War. Movie was pretty fun. It definitely gave it off the never-ending story vibes for sure. The production behind it was really cool. Just to kind of explain what a yokai is. Pretty much a yokai is a Japanese folklore. They can be pretty much anything because a lot of it is kind of has a lot of roots when it comes to Shintoism. And if you don't know what Shintoism is, it's a pretty paganistic religion in Japan where they have a lot of different types of gods, different types of spirits, and stuff like that. And in this movie, pretty much just to kind of give you a bit of a plot in a nutshell, the yokai are pretty much being kidnapped by a really evil spirit who's based on his motivation is revenge, but the spirit itself is based on like abandonment in some sense. Um, the spirit represents like you abandoning an old pair of shoes after these shoes have done a lot for you when it comes to providing protection and comfort. And now that they're old or they're worn out, you're throwing them away. You're not giving them a new life. And that trash, or at least things that people consider now trash, the resentment of these spirits that are attached to these objects build in Japan and got to a point where they, as a entity, seeks revenge, and it's in the form of this spirit, which I can't think of the name at the moment. But this spirit pretty much comes, kidnaps a bunch of yokai, and turns them into monsters. And there's like this giant vat thing that he throws these yokai in, and throws in, like, for example, one he throws in this like vat weird looking thing chamber, and he throws in a motorcycle, and this yokai comes out looking like a terrifying motorcycle transformer kind of thing, and wreaks havoc of people in Japan. Now the story revolves around this little boy who becomes the Kirin rider. Yes, the beer Kirin. But which is funny because that also has a bit of an involvement in the story too, for it being a child, kid, PG-13, but still, nonetheless, it being a kids movie, and there's a beer product placement moment in this movie is rather funny. Which with a bit of a deeper connection too, because as you get older, and this is in the movie, you stop believing in yokai, and to be able to see these spirits, uh, crack open a beer of Kirin beer, and you're able to see the yokai. That's how this one guy was able to see him. But nonetheless, this kid gets during a old traditional festival in a rural town in Japan. It's pretty much just kind of like the Kirin rider who's going to be the next Kirin rider, and then whoever gets bitten by the dragon, um, they are pretty much granted the title of Kirin rider. So this kid who's from the city, who moved out there because his parents are going through a divorce, goes to a festival, and he, Lord beholds, gets bitten by a performer playing as a dragon, wearing the traditional dragon garb and everything. Kind of just pop him on the head, and the kid's like, okay, whatever. Gets sent home with a box of rice and beans, and little did he know, a part of the tradition of becoming Kirin Rider, he has to go climb Goblin Mountain to retrieve the sword from the goblin who lives in the king, or who lives in a cave. And don't want to explain too much of the story because I feel like I'm starting to, but it was fun. The practical effects of this movie was really cool. I love the costume designs. The overall story was really enjoyable. If you're not really familiar with Shintoism or yokai, you probably might be a little lost. The entire movie's in Japanese, but I don't mind reading subtitles. Mm. The river princess was freaking adorable. She was oiled up the entire time like a P. Diddy freak off party. But nonetheless, her backstory too was rather interesting, and how before she turned into the river princess, she was a effigy that was used during a festival, then cast into the river because they were done with her for the festival and they didn't know what to do with her, so they threw her in the river. And this evil spirit comes to her while she's washed up on the river shore, and tries to get her to join his side to seek revenge against the humans, and she didn't want to, just because she is a spirit of love and care and nurturing, and that she hates people, but how she handles it is that she's going to love people, she's going to care for them, because no one is perfect, type of thing. So yeah, I mean, visually wise, the special effects were good. I mean, it gets a little, looks like a video game at times, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I forgot what year this movie came out, but for what it is, it's decent, and I highly enjoyed it. You can currently watch it on Tubi, um, and yeah, it's possibly. I'd definitely give it a 7 out of 10 for sure. It was enjoyable. It had its moments where I was kind of like, "What the?" But yeah, I mean, like those moments is mostly just revolving around a cute little spirit. I forgot its name, but it's the spirit of rubbing shins, and it looks like a little weird bunny, freaking Pomeranian looking thing, and makes cute noises and stuff like that. And then it gets the shit beaten out of it. So yeah, nonetheless, I highly recommend it. Movie's called The Great Yokai War, and it is fun, and it's now streaming on Tubi. So catch you in the next video. Godzilla Cup.